probably the most awkward thing about having a dog is that people refer to me as the dog's mommy. And don't laugh that hard, okay? Jeez.
This week I'm joined by Val Nigro. And what clip did you bring to us, Val?
I brought Tig Notaro on Conan. And yeah, pretty epic stool pushing bit.
Okay.
That's not what it sounds like, by the way. It's clean.
I was performing in Seattle.
Whoop whoop!
And when I was on stage, I moved the stool next to me just slightly, and it made this weird noise. And it caused the entire audience to laugh collectively. And I was like, oh, that's all you guys needed? So I just kept pushing the stool. And they kept laughing. So I just kept pushing the stool. And they stopped laughing. So I kept pushing the stool. They started laughing again. And it just kept going like that for a while, a good 10 minutes. So I was just curious what you guys would think if I pushed the stool here.
The way she sets it up is interesting because it's like you know, she can't just start pushing the stool.
Right.
And be like, I mean, maybe she could actually, because she's she's so random. But the fact that she kind of sets it up in a way that like primes people for laughing at it.
Yeah. And I don't think we see it coming that she's explaining this thing. We don't think, oh, she's just going to do it again.
Yeah.
Here. But I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe she's just telling the story of it happening, and she'll just repeat that, and it'll be really funny. But that's not all. That's not what happens. Like that build up at the beginning, I was like, I'm not like I wasn't really on board, but then especially when she picked the stool up to go
the
the
next
next
thing you wouldn't expect that, because there's a part right in the front where she didn't have to do it, but it kind of makes it more silly and brings more attention to what she's doing.
Yeah, and then they're just like hanging out over there with that giant moon. It's such a weird backdrop.
I love when comedians use what little they have on stage as a prop. It's always really fun to watch. Because usually all they have is a stool and a mic stand, and like usually the mic has a cord, but not always. And I've seen so many different things with just those 4 things. Or 3? 4.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how different comics use the, for some it's like, it's just something to kind of get out of the way, so you're not really, like you could watch an hour stand-up special and never really notice that there's a stool on stage. Or, obviously with this, the stool is the star of the show.
Sense of humor is changing just because of how much comedy we've seen, and this just seems like a result of that. I don't know.
Yeah, and I love that it's almost like, I mean, it makes me think of breaking the fourth wall or that kind of thing, where she's not just kind of standing in her spot and doing comedy.
Yeah.
It's like she's pushing through that, and she's over here like where everyone else is sitting, and she's
waving to them in the middle, of, like acknowledging their presence.
Yeah, and just taking everything with her. I mean, it's just, I love it. I love it when comics, it's like pushing the limits or the usual boundaries, or kind of like playing around with what we think of as how to do comedy.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe some of you aren't into it. That doesn't offend me. If you're not, raise your hand. I'm not. If you want me to stop, a couple of you. Maybe it's because you haven't heard it enough.
If I were gonna be on Conan, I'd be like, oh my god, I just have to do my best bit and like get out of there in one piece, you know, and not bomb. But she's just like doing a little crowd work essentially, where she's like interacting more, which I thought was really cool.
And I think even the people who aren't digging it, like that, just that interaction that she's having with them is making them more open to her, even though she's gonna keep doing this thing that they've already said they don't like.
Yeah, but it's like she asked for their opinion and she acknowledged them and was like, okay, a few people, like she mentioned them, you know, so it's like, it's hard to be like, well, fuck her for doing that, for still doing that stool pushing crap.
See how it just keeps doing that?
Just when you think like, okay, it's fading out, like she just brings it back, you know, 'cause that's another thing, like some, you know, with doing stand-up where sometimes you're kind of like, okay, we're done, like this bit's kind of...
Right.
But she just like, it doesn't even matter if people are kind of like, the laughter sort of petering out and then all of a sudden she's just like, now see how I did that, like it's just gonna keep going on. She's not like, she's just taking her time with it. Like she's not, you know, like, okay, crap, like they're not into it.
Right, yeah, and I think that confidence just makes it so much more fun to watch. You kind of get sucked into it. So
Yeah, because now it's like, well, what's she gonna do with it next? You're not like, come on, move on to the next. Or at least I'm not. I mean, clearly there were, clearly some people were maybe not on board. Again, like that move right there, I mean, I would have been like, oh, they're starting to clap. Like, would you ever interrupt? Like, what stand-up comic would interrupt an applause break? But then, like, she did, and it's brilliant, because now, like, everyone's laughing at that.
Yeah.
It's just...
And it's like she doesn't care about their approval. She's doing it because she believes in this bit. She wants to like do it to the end of it.
She doesn't want approval? That's not a stand-up comic. I wonder if she's done this bit and people weren't responding to it, but like I could imagine, I could picture her just still doing it for 5 minutes. And
Right,
then
the exact same way she's doing it, even with the response, a positive response to it. It's like she doesn't change what she's doing because the audience likes it or doesn't like it.
Yeah, which is again kind of counter to what the, you know, like the rules of stand-up comedy, or, you know, if your audience is not on board to just move, get out of there. And she's just like, could you imagine her just doing, like, not caring? I don't know. Or maybe that's not. Maybe she really didn't do that. But I just get this feeling that she did, because she has all these sort of like, it's like she has this arsenal of ways to bring it back too. So she had to have like, she's probably had plenty of crowds that were way less into it.
Yeah.
That she had to kind of see if she could just at least get a few laughs out of.
For those of you that do like it, that's gonna be on my new CD. And please look for it. It's called Stool Movement. Thank you. My name's Tig.
That was great. It's almost insulting for her to do this bit, because if you think of it one way, it's kind of like she's calling the audience dumb for laughing at that little noise that the stool made, and being like, yeah, I don't have to write anything witty or funny, like I could just make this noise. But the way she's doing it, and she's like so charming too, it's like you don't feel that she's insulting anyone. She's just like doing this weird bit.
I mean, right at the beginning, she said like, "Oh, that's all you need." And people laughed at that, but then, you know, now she was, you know, now who's really the butt of the joke? I mean, this is pretty wild. This is a great shot right here to showcase that hair. I mean, it's like, it's just kind of going down like that, and then it's, you know, it's a little bit longer in the back, but I don't know. She really rocks that 70s type look, which I love about her.
Reminds me a little bit of like a soccer mom. Okay, maybe not.
I'm like, how dare you say that? A lesbian soccer mom.
Okay, cool.
Okay, bye.